I have been literally inundated with like 2 comments of people wondering, where's the Volvo? It's here. I'm still driving it every day. It's fine. It just has less paint, a little more rust, and more miles. But I figured it was time I did a little something with it. So let's do a nice, easy, fun project today. So as this car has been baking in the California sun for the last several years, the instrument cluster has gotten a little bit baked. It's got this weird crackly texture on it and the needles are getting faded. And it's just, I'm looking at it every time I'm driving and I think I could pretty easily spruce it up and make it look nicer. So why not? Let's do this fun little project as I procrastinate editing bigger videos. And maybe I can get your guys' opinion on some Volvo stuff too. So, as I begin to pry out these little filler panels, I can tell you about my Volvo conundrum. So I've had this car since about 2018. Bought it for $1,000 from Copart, and it's been a great car. However, it's getting to a point where it needs a bit of fixing up. So I have to ask myself, do I want to invest in getting the car painted, or maybe rebuilding the suspension, or doing some other things to make it nice? Because I've always kind of wanted to have a nice 240, Wait, how does this knob come off? Oh yeah, you just pull it. Anyway, the car that this replaced was actually another 240 wagon, a 1979 245 in brown with the 4-speed with overdrive manual. And it was really cool. It had a lot of character. But I was at a time where I needed some cash and I needed to have something a little more reliable. So the more modern 240 made more sense. I love this thing and I don't really want to sell it, but I find myself in a position where I'm needing to raise money for other projects and it's time to find us a new home. However, I recently got the opportunity to buy back my old 79 Volvo, which would be really cool, but it also needs a lot of work. It also needs a paint job. It's got some fuel system issues. Of course, it has the old K-Jet mechanical fuel injection. So that would come with its own set of problems, but it would be a cool story to be reunited with my old Volvo. So it's probably a bad idea, but let me know what you think. And just unplug everything and hope that we remember to plug it all back in. Should I have disconnected the battery? Probably. Did I? No. Okay, so here's my beautiful cluster. It was really easy to remove. So the plan is hopefully separate the gauges from the back, which is just all these screws around the perimeter. You can take this whole board off. And then hopefully I can get inside the plastic areas here. And I'm being really optimistic that that's just some kind of film or chemical off-gassing that I can just wipe off and treat the plastic, make it nice and black again. And then I'm gonna paint the needles with some fresh orange paint. Hopefully it all works out. Just like that, there's our gauges. Right on. Okay, so on to the plastic problem. There's a little test spot right here on the inside that I can mess around with, and it's pretty baked. Doesn't seem to just rub off by hand, but I want to try some plastic cleaner by NOVUS. This is the NOVUS #1. Let me see if this will actually do anything. Maybe. I think we might be onto something here. And this side's pretty filthy as well, so we might as well just clean it up while we're here. Looking better already. So I could reach in there and try to clean behind the plastic, but Realistically, the best way to do this is if I can separate that off. So I've never done this before, but supposedly you can break it free by wedging a screwdriver in between this outer layer and inner layer. And there may be some breaking tabs involved. You can see that it's separate, but it's like glued in. Oh. Hey, there it is. All right. Oh, that's awesome. Now I can clean and polish both sides of this really nicely, and I can get to the ugly plastic. See how gnarly that is? Wow. Crazy. You could probably use just about anything. You could probably use dish soap, any kind of mild cleaner. Probably doesn't matter too much, but I know this is a plastic safe cleaner, so I'm just gonna go to town with it. Spray it all up in here. There's still a bit of texture there, but it's taking the white stuff off, so that's progress. Probably need something a little stronger. Okay. Oh no! Dash is all lit up. Every warning light is on. Oh, it's fine. Oh no! Oh, it's fine. Actually, these warning lights, it's just one long strip on the backside. Well, a couple of long strips. And it looks like they're just held on to that little post right there. So I'm wondering if I'm gentle, does it just press right off? It's just loose on that side. Oh, yeah. If you just wiggle it around, it comes right off. Yeah. There it goes. I'm not sure how the green arrow indicators are held in there, so I'm just gonna leave them alone. My first pass of cleaning didn't really get in there too good, so I might try a slightly more aggressive product. Luckily, I have some NOVUS number 2. Actual plastic polish. And try this piece, it's pretty messed up. Yeah. Here's a little before and after using the plastic polish. Definitely helps. Doesn't totally take the texture out. I think that's probably permanent, but looks a lot nicer and darker. So I guess I'll keep going with that. After going over the whole thing with the plastic polish, it came out pretty clean, but the plastic just looks dry and sad still. So I have one more trick up my sleeve, and that's this stuff, solution finish. It's essentially a black dye for plastic trim. Usually it's used on exterior trim on your car, but I don't see any reason why it won't work on this. Basically brush it all over the black plastic, let it sit for a little bit and wipe it off. I'll show you how it came out later. But now we get to what I think is the most fun part of this whole project, painting the needles. Starting off with some careful masking. Okay, I've done a bunch of masking as you saw, and now it's time for the fun part, painting the orange stuff. And to do that, I got this fancy needle paint from a place called Hypo Parts. They make LEDs and gauge restoration stuff, mainly for old American cars. But this is a nice fluorescent orange needle paint, so it should be perfect. I'm gonna use a trick my old coworker Daryl taught me, shout out to Daryl. Instead of using the actual brush part of a paintbrush, you just flip it around and use the wooden tip. You get a nice controlled paint line that way. So that's what I'm gonna do. You could also use a toothpick, but let's refresh this orange. Okay, steady hand, hopefully. Just flow it on. Maybe I need more. Once I had a good coat on the top needle of the clock, I went ahead and pulled the masking tape off, holding my breath that the line would be crisp. Luckily, it worked out great. Then I moved the arms a little bit to give better access to the bottom needle and went to town. This is the one I'm the most excited for because it's the most faded and arguably the most prominent needle is the Speedo. So let's just glob some nice orange paint on here. Oh yeah. Oh, that's nice. Nice. Oh, that looks good. On the temperature and fuel gauges, I figured I might as well try to freshen up the orange in these rectangular sections too. So I dabbed some paint into them and hoped that my masking would be crisp. Doing the small needles is a little bit fiddly because they move very easily, but if you take your time, it's doable. I might leave this tape on until it's dry, just because it'll be too logistically challenging to pull it while it's still wet. After giving things enough time to dry, I went to pull the masking and uh-oh, we had some spillage. That's not ideal. Oh man, okay, I have to see if I can clean that up. Oh man, a little sloppy as well. Dang. Okay, well, I'm gonna see if I can clean that up at all. Color looks good. I basically spent some time rubbing at it with a solvent on a Q-tip and eventually got it clean enough that it's not too noticeable. Aside from that little accident, I think these came out great. Next, I spent a little more time polishing both sides of the clear lens. And got the warning lights reinstalled. Okay, so the next order of business is going to be to re-glue the lens on to the housing. So I think I'm just going to use some glue in the corners just to hold it in place. So in this case, I'm going to use some of this JB Weld plastic bonder. It's probably way stronger than it needs to be, but instead of going all the way around, I'll just do a little dab in each corner just to keep it on. So. Set this on its top, flip it around. I might even go ahead and drop the gauges in just so it has some weight on it. There we go. Okay, while that glue is setting up, I'm going to go ahead and put the screws back in for the instruments. And then I'll check back in a little later once this is all dry and reveal how good this looks. All right, the glue's had enough time to dry. Now I can reveal how good this looks now. Oh yeah, that is way better than it was before. Now there's one other little detail I might mess with, and that is the reset button for the trip odometer. There's supposed to be a little white dot there. So why don't we try to replicate that? Okay, I'm gonna slip a piece of paper in here for masking purposes. And then once again, I'm going back to my trusty paintbrush back. I'm gonna get a glob of this white paint on it. Whew, this is scary. Okay, incoming. Ooh, pretty good. Pretty freaking good. Okay, I'll let that dry for a while and then put this back in the car. Oh, that came out good. All right, it's the moment that I have been waiting for. Putting this back in, hopefully remembering where everything plugs in. Looking good. Now we can pop back in a beautiful high mileage badge. Genuine Volvo, not a knockoff. And this blank off plate, which I would love to find a Fahrenheit ambient temperature gauge. I think that's one of the coolest, rarest accessory gauges. But for now, nice and clean. Oh, that looks good. Well, that's gonna do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing the Volvo again on the channel. I was glad to have it back. But let me know what you thought of my conundrum I mentioned earlier. Should I put more effort into this one, fix it up, make it nice? Should I buy back my old 79 and have an adventure flying to Texas and driving back 1,000 miles and fixing that up, even though it's kind of a worse car? Either way, I think I only have room for one Volvo in the fleet, so gonna have to choose. But this was a fun little manageable project in between the major ones. Next video you see is going to be a whole overhaul of my Miata's front suspension with all the bushings and steering components. So that'll be fun.
When do I need to water
I don't know. See you next time.
this?